Hey everyone, I'm so excited about this Nautical Prism mystery box. The colors in here are beautiful and you guys get a ton of stuff in this box. So I'm super excited. But one of the things that I get asked the most about is how to use the foil transfer tool. And we have a nice set of Cricut Joy cards in the box. Those will work with the Cricut Joy, Joy Xtra, or any of the Maker and Explore machines. And today I'm going to use my Joy Xtra, and it has the foil transfer sheets, tape, everything all in the package. So this is a great set of cards to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Projects, and I'm going to search Insert Cards. And I have, of course, already bookmarked the card I'm going to use to make this easier for us. But you can do insert cards, and then if you want, you can type in foil, and it's going to bring it right up. So I'm actually going to do this foil fireworks card, and you have to select your finished size. And these cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is the R20 size. So we're going to click R20, and then I'm going to click Customize. And there's a reason I'm going to do this. Now with the Joy transfer tool, you only get one size option, and that's the medium. So what I'm going to do here is uncollapse this attached set, and I'm clicking on just the foil one, and it's already set to medium, so we're good to go. But I will show you how to change it just in case it's not. And now, while this is not 100% necessary, it does give you a better visual of what your foiling is going to end up looking like. So you just would go over here and click, and actually I'm going to change machines real quick. I'm going to do Maker 3, and then you'll get this option, find medium and bold. Because we are using the Joy Xtra, we don't need to change it, but these will only show up if you're using an Explore or Maker machine and you have those tip options. So I'm going to change it back to Joy Xtra, and we are ready to make. And I'm going to click Make. I don't need to save this right now. Couple things we're going to do here. We are going to double check that our 20 is set so that we know it's correct, and we're double checking that we have a foil layer and a basic cut layer. We do, and it's on the card mat, so we're good to go. So we're going to click Continue. I have 2 Joy Xtras and my daughter has 1, so they're all connected via Bluetooth. That's the only option. So it's going to search, but it's going to ask me to select which one I'm using, and then we're going to do the insert card stock for our material. Now here it's telling you to move the star wheels. To ensure quality and safety, move star wheels to the right side of your machine. I am going to go over to my camera and talk a little bit about why we are moving them while I move them, so you guys can see. Okay, so you want to make sure while that message is up on the screen, you're moving your wheels then, because you don't want to trigger the auto feed option. So I have my foil tool, and I notice if you have the one for the Explore Maker, if you're like, oh, I don't know which one's which, the Joy one is shorter and it has a dark blue top. So that's how you'll know. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to swap these out so I don't forget that. And I'm going to move this stuff aside, and I will show you how we're going to use that after. So these star wheels are the white wheels right here. Now while that pop-up is still up, we're going to move these, because if we hit these rollers, it's going to think that we're loading our material in, and it's going to cause an issue. So make sure you do this before, like, don't click got it and then go to move it. So we're going to move them to each side. They can be a little tougher to move depending on your machine. I know my Explore machines, they were pretty tight the first couple times I did them. I'm going to move them all the way back, all the way to the edges here. And the reason we're doing that is because if we left them there, as it rolls over the foil, that star wheel is going to make that impression in the foil on our card. So we want to make sure those are out of the way. Okay, now we're going to remove the protective layer from our card mat. We are going to open there's tape on here. We are going to open I'm actually just going to use my True Control knife like I normally do and just make a little cut there, and we'll just rip that off. we're going to remove a card. We're going to remove an insert. We're going to remove the foil, tape for the foil, and an envelope. Now, if I don't use this card right away, I always grab an envelope out either way so that when I put it in my stash, I know I have the right size envelope and I know that I took it out of the pack, so that I don't just grab random envelopes out of random packs and then not have enough. So this is your foil and your tape in here. That white stuff is your tape. I'm going to use, I like this, it's a midnight blue. You get midnight blue, deep teal. I'm using the midnight blue insert card. I am going to use the pretty holographic insert because that's going to go beautifully with our foil. And then I'm going to very carefully with the foil, very carefully, I'm going to take out a sheet. They are kind of staticky, and you have gold and silver, so you've got your gold and then your silver. So I'm carefully looking in here until I find a silver piece, and I'm going to slowly pull it out because, again, they are staticky. You don't want to pull out too much. And we're going to pull out 4 sheets of tape. Now, all the tape is together, so I'm just going to take it out and do 1, 2, 3, 4. And the tape can be a little sticky. So what I do is I'm going to stick it right to my shirt and de-stick it a little bit so that it doesn't tear our cardstock or anything. You don't have to do this, but I usually do. So you can see this is staticky. It's hard to get back in the package. Ooh. All right, then we'll put our tape back in. There is enough tape in here to have 4 sheets per sheet of foil. So don't worry that you're not going to have enough tape. And I don't recommend trying any other tape. I do recommend using this tape. There's plenty in there for you. All right, that's not perfect. I'll deal with that later. So we're going to set this aside. And again, de-sticking our tape on my shirt here. Not too crazy. You want it to still be sticky. All right. I've got some tips for you guys. So we're going to set aside our insert and our envelope. We don't need those right now. And I'm going to put my card in. And then I have some tips for you how to apply the foil because it is staticky. So we got your little pocket here. We're going to put our card all the way up, slide it all the way in, and adhere it down. Use your brayer if you need to make sure it's stuck on there well. And then we're going to set our foil on top. Now, a couple things here. Our foil is not the full size of our card. So what we're going to do is double check where our foil lines up on Design Space. And make sure, yeah, we've got plenty of space. We are good. And then what we are going to do is just, I try to make it as centered as I could to make sure that we don't have any issues. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to start taping it down. But once we get the tape near it, I'm going to show you guys so you can really see what I'm talking about. It's very staticky. I'm not staticky today. I've been shocking the heck out of my cats, so I'm surprised I'm not super staticky. But it is very staticky. So in case you have any issues, here's what I do. I have my acrylic ruler here. This is the Cricut one. You can use really anything that's just not too heavy or that's going to cause any issues. And we're going to slide it up as close as we can. Now, something to keep in mind too, wherever your tape is, the foil tool is not going to transfer the foil. So we want to make sure our foil, our tape is not too close to the design because we don't want it to cause an issue. And we're just going to tape it down. I'm really sorry if you can hear my cat. He is very angry that I have locked him out. So, I'm very sorry. Okay, see where it got staticky there? So we're just going to turn it around and do the same thing on this side. And then we will do the top and bottom. And then we will load our mat. Now you want to make sure you're not pressing too hard like where the foil is. Because again, it's pressurized, so it will transfer. We don't want that. So we're making sure this also makes sure it's very, very taut. The foil needs to be very taut in order for it to transfer well. So we want to, this helps with that too. Okay. And then I usually just move the whole thing around and do this. And these are just some little tips that are additional that have always helped me. So I like to pass them along to all of you. I hope that this works for you. Again, you can use this Cricut acrylic ruler, or you can use just something else that will work. But I just, again, not something that's like sharp or anything like that. So we're going to load it up. Okay. We're going to let it do its foil, and then I'm going to come back and show you what happens next. Okay, so now that the foiling is done, you're going to get this screen. Very important, do not unload your mat because we have not done the cut yet. What we're going to do is remove the silver foil and put our blade in. Then we will click go, which will start the cutting. So again, do not click go until you've done these steps. So I'm going to show you how to do it quickly. Okay, so you're going to see that the mat is still in the machine pretty decently. So you can see, so we're going to do this carefully. I start at the bottom here. I'm going to peel the tape up, and you can see down here I did have some tape where these little fireworks are, so you're going to see they didn't transfer fully to the bottom. Okay, I'm going to carefully peel these up, and I do it from the bottom to the top because then what I can do is kind of, I don't know if you saw what I did, but I kind of like wiggled and pulled it so that we're not under the blade there. Okay, we're going to do this. And then now we will click go, it will do our cutting, and then we will assemble our card. Okay, so our cut is done. I'm going to go ahead and unload my mat, and it's going to give us a reminder to move our star wheels back. Oh, and guess what? I didn't change my blade, so this didn't cut through. I left my foil tool in. Well, that's all right. We will, there is an impression there, so I can at least cut out those corners for us by hand. So the way, again, star wheels, I'm getting distracted here. I'm going to move the star wheels back into place. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you just want to space them out pretty evenly so that they're, it helps hold your material in place as it loads, especially if you are doing smart material. So these are very important. Make sure you move them back. All right, so we'll set this aside, and I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to remove the mat from my card. I'm pulling the card off this way so it doesn't curl up. We've got that. We'll pull it out. Okay. And then I'm going to actually go ahead and cut those little corners out for us so we can put the insert in, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I went ahead and I redid the card and I cut it out just to make it easier to show you guys. So it's so pretty. But it had a lot of pretty cuts on the inside too, and I wanted to be able to show you guys that. So I did that. I'm also going to grab just my little scraper. I'll show you why we need it after. So again, we're going to flip the card over. We're slowly working the cardstock off of the mat. We're pulling the mat up and working the cardstock down. That is to prevent curling. Okay, now you're going to, I had some cuts stay in here. I know I've done like hundreds and hundreds of cuts with this machine, so I have suspected I need a new blade. This kind of set it in for me. We're going to take our scraper and just carefully, I'm not even pressing, I'm just gliding on top because we don't want to damage any stickiness, but we're going to quickly just remove this from our mat and then put our protective film back on. And then I'll just scoop this off my desk and throw it in the trash. And I'm going to go ahead and pick all the pieces out of this card and come back. I really want to show you guys how pretty it looks once the insert's behind it. Okay, so I removed all the pieces and I'm going to show you guys quickly how to do the insert. And you can see I have some rips on the back, but the insert's going to cover it, so it's not a big deal. So here's what we're going to do first. We are going to do, you can do the up, You can do the top, you can do the bottom, you can do one side, you can do, it doesn't matter. Whichever way you want to do it, but this is how I do it. I'm going to put the envelope under here so you can see better because it's a little dark. Okay, so I'm just going to slightly bend it, and I mean slightly. Stick one corner and then the other. I'm going to push it all the way up, rotate it down, and do the same thing on this side. Now remember, you can do top and bottom, you can do right side, left side, doesn't matter how you do it. I just find that this has worked easiest. And close it, and now we have a beautiful card with that foil. Alright guys, if you have any questions, just let me know. And then I'll slip it in like this, and it will go in my stash. Let me know if you have questions.